As the corny phrase goes, content is king. Right now we're going to be talking about today something a little bit special. Obviously we have seller strategy, we have buyer resource. It's pretty much the buyer show. We have a ton of other shows that hot topic, things that people don't want to discuss. Today we're going to be talking about, in my new much larger office. It's probably 2 times the size of my old office. So we're going to be building out behind me, you could probably see it, an area like a studio kind of area, because I've noticed that content is great. And then I'm going to have a standing desk right here, and then we're going to have a regular desk right here, another desk right here. You guys obviously can't see it, but I'm just looking at it right now. But behind me is going to be a really cool setup, hopefully in the future, and by hopefully we already are. Going to be getting 2 TVs, and we're going to be able to stream things on that, which is really nice. It's going to be behind me, so we're really going to be building out this place. And I just love it. I'm going to be, right now it's kind of a gangster setup. But anyway, let's get into the topic for today. Obviously, sellers, what are we thinking about today? I know a lot of sellers. I actually got an email from a broker and just wanted to go make sure that we were live. I got an email from a broker. It's very interesting because we have a home on the market in Harlem. We have an offer out. We have a contract out. And I don't know if it's going to go through, but it doesn't really matter because we reached out to a couple other people because, it's not signed yet. It's been a couple of weeks. And I reached out to this one agent. It was very interesting because I've said it before, I said on the market report, I said on the buyer's show, and I'm going to say it again now. And this is why the 17-day rule is so important. And obviously I'm going to tell you that right after the story. Haha, it's like kind of a trailer to a movie. And he emails me, I say, oh, okay, you were very interested in the home. I want to make sure that your clients are still interested. And he said something very interesting. He said, no buyers are buying right now. And it was kind of one of those things that I already sort of suspected because I have buyers myself. They said they're going to sideline their search. And we're in this very interesting moment because rates started to go up, but not for any particular reason besides the fact that it was a seller's market for months, okay? And I'm not going to say not to put your home on the market, but the 17-day rule is vital to you putting your home on the market. So the 17-day rule essentially is from the day that you list, which is usually for us, we put it on a Tuesday, we do our mailing on a Wednesday, we reach out on a Thursday to everyone that might be interested. On a Friday, we start sponsoring it all over on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and on StreetEasy. So we roll out this big, amazing plan for all of our sellers. And then by the 17th day, that means that we've had an open house on Sunday, which is everybody knew. And some people, they had a wedding, they had a vacation, they're skiing, they're at the shore house, obviously now because there's not much skiing going on, maybe in the Alps. But then we have that second open house. And really what I'm doing at the 2 open houses is selling it at those 2 open houses. And I know you're saying, oh, Chills, obviously, what else would you be doing at those 2 open houses? Well, actually collecting feedback. And that feedback is, just in case it doesn't sell at those 2 open houses, what is the feedback on this home? Is the feedback the view? Is the feedback the furniture? Is there too much furniture? Is there too little furniture? Can people not see themselves there? Is there a renovation that we didn't put into the price? Is there a water tower that it looks out onto? And you have to be really candid. You have to be very candid. Okay, I read and by read, it was on Audible, and incredible book. Highly recommend you check it out. It's called Getting Naked. Okay, I think it's Getting Naked or something, and it's a business. In other words, it's stripping down all of your ego. It's stripping down all the transparency and just saying how it is. And it's by a guy that's been very, very successful in the consulting world. He literally went against the biggest companies, and he had very minimalistic amount of people there, and they just told it how it is. If you want to take the information, that's amazing. If you don't want to take the information, that's amazing too. They didn't really care, but they worked by referral, okay? We work by referral. We also do outbound prospecting. So one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that after the second open house, we have to adjust. And it's not usually the price. You have to adjust something. You have to tell the owner, we got to remove some things because the flow at the open house isn't that good. That was in one of our properties. We had another property that the paint was lime green and something else, and people started bringing up the kitchen. So I said, it's St. Patty's Day. It's one of those things that if it consistently was brought up, I say, you know what, we need to spend the $1,000 to paint that kitchen white. There was another where there was no furniture, so we went virtually staged. It didn't work. Then we went from virtually staged to actually staged, and it still didn't work. So I said, okay, then it's the price. The 17 days essentially is you put it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it doesn't really matter. Put your home on the market on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Then you have your open house on Sunday. Then you have another open house on the following Sunday. Then you call the owner. Obviously, you're giving feedback along the way, but you call the owner and you say, here's all the feedback. It's been 17 days on the market. We need to do something, okay? And that is critical that you do something. The definition of insanity, doing the exact same thing, expecting different results. We have a property on now, and it could come down to the price, but I don't want to blame it on the price immediately. And if it is the price, that's a conversation that you have at the presentation or the pitch, whatever you want to call it. You have that up front and say, listen, I think we're coming on high. After 17 days, if we don't fetch this number, we need to drop it to the price I want. Okay? That's a conversation you have not after 17 days. That's what you have at the presentation. Case in point, the one in Harlem that we have right now. The owner wanted to put it on a price that was above a threshold of a search. So in other words, when you search, 605, say it's $1 million and $1,010,000, okay? That $10,000 is silly because people cut their search at $1 million, okay? If it's worth $1,010,000, it's going to go for $1,010,000. Also consider the mansion tax. That was a conversation I literally had on yesterday. It was yesterday. I was talking with an owner and I walked in, I said, I think this is right around $1 million. They weren't happy. They wanted more. And part of the reason is because I got their neighbor just below $1 million and their home is nicer. But I said, unless this is $1.1 million, we need to put this at $995 because let people entice to go over the asking price. The one that we sold their neighbors went way over the asking price. The asking price is just this arbitrary number that I come up with based on my best estimates on comparables, what's sold, what's on the market, who's our competition in the current marketplace. Actually, we're very successful this year on getting the asking price, but we're not always going to get the asking price. Okay, in Australia, I think it's in Australia, they have a weird system where you give out the asking price and they have like a month to collect all the bids. It's totally different. But in America, this is how we do it, is that it could go above or below, depends on the inventory and everything else. But the 17-day rule is steadfast. And I bring that up at the listing pitch. So if you're a seller and you're either going to put your home on the market, ask your agent and say, do you think this price is high? What is the feedback once it's actually on the market? Because you have to adjust, okay? It's not always the price, okay? And sometimes it's not even always the feedback. It's sometimes the agent, okay? And a lot of agents, they don't want to admit that, but it's a reality, is that if you actually consider everything, okay, it sometimes comes down to the agent. The price is good, it's marketed well, the agent just can't sell it, or they don't want to sell it, or they don't have time to sell it, or they're not hosting open houses, or they're just not good at influencing. This is a job that not all agents are created equal, okay? The top 10% are really good at what we do, okay? The bottom 90 are gonna be there. They're just always gonna be there. The top, I would say 3,000 agents in this city are really good at what they do, and then it goes up from there. Obviously, as you start getting to the top, but that's also who do you want to get into a relationship with for 4 to 5 months. This isn't just, here's a discount brokerage. It's, here's a discount brokerage that's going to give you a discounted price. It's the agent is willing to charge what they feel that they're worth. And one of the biggest topics is what we talked about today. So I hope you guys enjoy this new office. We're going to be building it out. We're getting the tripod. We're going to be getting a couple other things that we're going to make this a little bit more professional. Obviously a new 2 times the size, larger office. I don't even know if that was English, but we'll just go with it. And if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Obviously, we're open to anything. Charles@bpi.live or charles@boatenston.com. The BPI.live is a blog that we're building out. We're but we brought on a full-time writer, and she's going to be doing a ton of things for us. She's amazing. I'm going to meet up with her in California, and she lives an incredible lifestyle, and essentially she's going to be copywriting a bunch of things. We're also going to be coming out with a couple of more Instagram content, areas, celebrities, homes, luxury, and news as well. News is one of the biggest things, is that what's going on. There's so many sources of news, there's so many newspapers, there's so many websites, there's so many different people, there's so much different content out there. How do you choose what to actually see? So we're going to curate all of that, and obviously that's something to come, but there's no grandiose leaps. It's just small incremental steps. This is an incremental step right now, which is setting up the studio, which is going to be tomorrow. And we're going to be going live again. Tomorrow we might have BPIU. BPIU is for all the agents. So we have 4 shows. I've already discussed it. And hot topic, which is something that nobody wants to talk about. Seller strategy, which is what's the strategy going into the sale of my home? What's the strategy when it's on the market? And even choosing the agents, which is extremely important. You can't just go with one agent unless it's us. You have to interview, make sure you're comfortable, because some people bring up different topics. That's the second show. The third show is a buyer's resource. We call it now the buyer show. And obviously, especially now, it's vitally important that you get everything correct. We're going to be talking about gifting, co-purchasing, and parents buying for kids. And the fourth one is obviously BPIU, and that's going to be tailored to agents, salespeople, business owners, entrepreneurs. Because when I was going through real estate, and even now, there's not many resources in New York City that are willing to disclose a lot of things. They say, oh, I just prospect. Okay, when do you prospect? What's your timing? What do you say? How often do you follow up? Do you text? Do you email? Do you do video mail? We're going to be going into video email, video texting. We're just going into the wave of the future. That's how it is. None of this just texting. You got to be more personal. You got to be pretty much everything now. You got to be the customer service. You got to be the face of the company. You got to be the face of content. You got to be the face of just that professional that's willing to curate all these sources out there. So hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to sign off for now. Tomorrow, another show at roughly the same time. And I always start a little bit late. The setup that we have right now is not ideal. It's kind of like all over the place. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy your day. And if you guys have any questions, just shoot me an email, charles@bpi.live. All right?